Good evening and welcome to the RO Sports Show's WrestleMania special. WrestleMania right around the corner tomorrow night, and we're going to get into all of that. First of all, Jeremy McKenzie beside me, Russell Parker down there on the other end. So welcome again. Now, as I mentioned, WrestleMania is set to take place Sunday night, starts at 7 o'clock. The main card will be then. They're going to have a 2-hour kickoff show starting at 5 p.m., but moving backwards, last night they started the festivities with the Hall of Fame like they do every other year. And just to read them off real quick, Goldberg's getting in, the Dudley Boys, Ivory, Jeff Jarrett, Mark Henry, Hillbilly Jim, and on the celebrity wing, Kid Rock. So I always find it funny with the celebrities they end up putting in. But Russell, just out of these, who do you think is by far the best?
Out of all of these, I think the most popular one will be Goldberg. But for me, I like Mark Henry because that's the one I grew up watching regularly. So I'm going to pick Mark Henry on that one.
All right, what do you think, Jeremy? Who's your favorite?
I think the one who's most deserving is Goldberg. Most of y'all know who's a former WCW superstar who pretty much took wrestling to a whole different plateau with the spears and the jackhammers and stuff like that when the face is like this. And pretty much as he transitioned to the WWE, I remember that first night he came and he speared The Rock during the Rock Appreciation Night, which that kind of led up to a match at Backlash, and then having fused with Triple H and Brock Lesnar, and then came back down the road, even won a WWE Championship for the first time in his career, which we thought that it was a dream match with Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, which he beat Brock Lesnar in less than 10 seconds.
Yeah, and that was just a year ago, this past year. So not that long since Goldberg's been out of the game. Of course, they're all deserving. Goldberg's, like you said, is probably the most popular. One you guys didn't mention is the Dudley Boys. Of course, I grew up during the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
I remember when these guys came on the scene, as we were talking before we started taping, about all those epic TLC matches that they had with Edge and Christian, who, by the way, will be introducing them, or actually introduced them last night. And, of course, with the Hardy Boys mixed into that as well. Talk just a second about those TLC matches and how, the Dudleys and these other two groups just made that as big as it is.
Well, I remember when I grew up in the Attitude Era, and I remember when they first had it at SummerSlam in 2000, and as year progresses, as those three popular tag teams went at it, even when at WrestleMania 17 at Houston Astrodome in 2001, and I could see right now to this day, if I watch it on YouTube or WWE Network, I can actually see Edge spearing Jeff Hardy off the ladder.
Yeah, that's one everybody remembers.
Yeah, remember, and that was like, this man is dead? Because I was like, seriously, you get speared like that, I don't know, you gonna live or die. But as those matches keep going on, they took it to the whole other plateau, in which that led to other tag teams in the future try to do the same thing. But
and with the TLCs, Edge and Christian were the seed with the chairs. The Hardy Boys had the ladders. I guess the Hardy Boys had the ladders, and then of course the Dudleys had the tables.
Yeah,
so.
I remember Bubba Ray would say, "Devon, get the tables."
Yeah. And what was their finisher? The 3D.
The 3D, yeah.
Yeah, of course, Jeff Hardy did the Swanton Bomb off top of a ladder.
Right.
And Matt did a twist of fate, and you had Edge and Christian do the chair where you take two chairs to get like bam, right there to get.
And by the way, I found it interesting that Paul Heyman is the guy that's going to be, or the guy that introduced Goldberg. I mean, is that kind of like getting back, from last year with Brock Lesnar defeating Brock Lesnar?
I don't know, because if you're looking at this is kind of an odd introduction, because Paul Heyman is an ECW guy and Goldberg's a WCW guy. So the person that I would, if it was me introducing Goldberg, it pretty much had to come Eric Bischoff or Sting.
Well, I think it had a lot to do with the fact I think Paul Heyman kind of helped get Goldberg back into the WWE with him and Brock Lesnar going at it so much. I think they have a connection there with that, and I think that's the reason why. Plus, Paul Heyman is all about the business and getting these guys and pushing them really hard. So I think that's where the connection goes in that.
And of course, we have to mention there's always a female athlete that gets in as well. Ivory being that this year, who was introduced by Molly Holly.
Yeah.
Of course, you were talking earlier about Crash Holly and the whole Holly family.
Hardcore, yeah.
But Ivory, she was also another one of those that was prominent during the Attitude Era.
Yeah, a three-time women's champion, and pretty much was a pretty dominant diva in her prime. So.
And then finally, Mark Henry. you're talking about him. Big, huge guy, world's strongest man, world's strongest slam. Anything particular you remember from his career?
I remember him and Undertaker going at WrestleMania in a casket match. And I think about 2 years afterwards, Mark Henry had came back, and after Undertaker and Batista had the steel cage match on SmackDown, Mark Henry came out there and just obliterated Undertaker, which helped Edge get the World Heavyweight Championship when he cashed in that same night. So I remember being a kid, and that's the first time I ever seen Mark Henry, and I'm just like, I hate you. I hate you so much.
And before you were probably a little kid when you was doing when Mark Henry was known as to be the sexual chocolate, Hershey's, what not have you. But he had a K-face relationship with Mae Young. And I remember this particular SmackDown or Raw's War at the time. Mae Young was pregnant with his baby.
Yeah,
and I remember that. And I remember that baby actually came out of Mae Young. And it was just like it
was a hand.
Yeah. It was a hand that like a little bit. I was like, oh, that is so nasty.
Yeah, but I'll take it one even further back than that. He started with the Nation of Domination.
Yeah, with The Rock and Farouk and.
Well, that was even before The Rock took it over. That was Farouk and D'Lo Brown and all those guys. And then he did the Sexual Chocolate. He's always been a guy to me that after WrestleMania season, they always push him in the championship matches because he's such a dominating force when he wants to be. When he's winning on a winning streak, that sort of thing. One particular thing I remember from him, aside from the fact that he was also ECW champion at one point, was I can't remember how many years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. He came out and he had his wrestling boots in his hand and he went and put them in the middle of the ring and made everybody think that he was retiring. I don't know if you guys remember this.
I remember that.
So John Cena comes out there and lets him hold the belt. Of course, Mark Henry takes him and slams him down and says, "I'm not retiring. I'm challenging you to the belt," which I thought was just a really cool way to go about putting your name back out there. So, and then also want to mention Kid Rock, of course, in there being the celebrity guy this year. Big. I don't know, how would you describe his music? Rap, rock, country,
mixture.
A little bit on
I read a lot of people that really was like, I didn't really hear anything from Kid Rock to the Undertaker, make his return in 2000 when he, went from this Ministry of Darkness guy to the American, what that means, but
the motorcycle
facade. And I remember when Undertaker came back and Kid Rock came out, they did a concert. He did a concert in the WWE, which it kind of like elevated him where he was because the Undertaker, and that's why everybody came so much Kid Rock fans. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean they every year again they put in a celebrity for that wing.
I think he's also got a theme song for WrestleMania too, like one of the WrestleMania themes.
He's had a few pay-per-view theme songs that they've used from him. Now, moving on to tonight, NXT is going to be having NXT TakeOver like they've been doing.
They've taken over New Orleans.
They've had a lot of success with those pay-per-views, and we're going to get into every one of those matches. Now, starting off, we're going to talk about the NXT North American Championship ladder match. Now, this, you're showing me a picture of it, is a brand new belt. They just unveiled it, earlier this week?
Yeah, it was... they announced it last week, and then they revealed it earlier this week,
Yeah, and... there's quite a few guys in here, and just the fact that it's a ladder match has me pumped because I love ladder matches. But you've got Adam Cole facing off against the Velveteen Dream, Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, Ricochet, and EC3. Now, I want to get you guys, we're going to do predictions on all of these. But just one quick note that I've seen about the North American title is, it seems like, NXT is kind of like the minor league, so to speak, of WWE, but there always seem to be a lot of guys that are around the championship picture. I think it's great for them to take this and make kind of a secondary title to have some of those guys that don't have a place in the main title picture to have somewhere to fight. So
NXT has elevated a lot since it first started. I know when the very first episode was like a game show. Yeah. And Daniel Bryan was on that show with The Miz. But now it's actually its own show, and people will actually say today that it's better than WWE right now, better than Raw and SmackDown. And it's good arguments for that because they do very well on there because they're performing so hard because they want to get to that main roster.
Yeah, I mean, I know people that only watch NXT, and that's it. They don't watch the Raw and SmackDown. So Something to be said about how they've developed people.
Great matches too.
Yeah, and I mean, you think about this. The new era was just an influx of women and men from NXT that took over basically. And you look at the landscape of WWE. There's still a few of those older guys that didn't come through NXT, but in my opinion, like the majority of the roster are guys and girls that came from there, right?
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, you got the women's revolution started from there too, with Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Bayley. They all came from down there.
The 4 horsewomen.
Yeah, and of course Paige started that too. So they all came up, and now they're just big names. They're crazy how big they've gotten. Of course, Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Roode. Those guys, they're huge back on the indie scene and coming into NXT. And that's the thing, Triple H understands how this works. Yeah. He's able to get these guys and bring them here, and develop their character, and then put them over on the main roster.
And I mean, at this point, they're just like a factory, aren't they? They just keep churning them out. And I mean, people are always going to want to be involved with this if you have any kind of athletic ability or, like a really big personality or something like that.
And I think the future of WWE is going to be perfectly fine if Triple H does be the one to take it over, because what he's done with NXT proves that he knows how to run a business, and especially this business.
Well, you don't think that Vince is getting up there? You don't think that Triple H has a lot of say-so already?
I think he does, yeah.
He's definitely going to be the guy that takes over.
Of course, Vince always has the final say.
Right.
Because you got to look at it, Triple H, I pretty much say he has done a fine job what he has done since, getting away from the in-ring action. And pretty much a lot of times that I can see Triple H could take over as chairman of the board once, Vince decides to hang it up one day.
Well, I think Vince will be buried before he actually hangs it up. So we'll wait to see about that. But like I said, we're going to do some predictions. So North American ladder match. Who you got, Russell?
I'm going to go with Velveteen Dream on this one. I think he's got a lot of potential to win that one. I still want to keep my eye on EC3, though, because he came out in NXT last week, and he made a very good statement about how he can do this and win it. I think he's got a good shot too, but I think it'll be between them two.
All right, who do you think will win, Jeremy?
I'm probably gonna go with Adam Cole versus Lars Sullivan. I like to go for the underdogs.
I'm going to have to take EC3, and I mentioned this before because this is a guy who has been in the game for quite a while over on Impact, and people know who he is. He's obviously a big time name. He actually came up in WWE, I don't think some people realize, and got cut, and of course went to a different promotion, built his name up, and now he's back. Not only can I see him winning this match, but I could also see him being promoted to the main roster shortly after WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, I think he'll have a very short career in NXT, then move up into WWE.
Yeah. And we've seen guys like that, like Samoa Joe,
Bobby
for
Roode
instance.
guys
that come in for just a little bit of time.
And Kevin
know what they're
Owens
doing.
and all of them.
Now, moving on the NXT card. Next up, we've got the NXT Tag Team Championship. It's going to be a triple threat match. Undisputed Era are the champions right now. They're going up against Authors of Pain and the duo of Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne. Now, just a couple of quick notes that I noticed about this. The Undisputed Era is kind of using the Freebird rules right now, where there's 3 of them, but 2 of them can rotate, kind of like the New Day has done in the past. I also noticed that Roderick Strong is the only one out of this group that's never won any gold. I found that interesting. Of course, Pete Dunne has been the UK champion. I'm not sure if he still has it, but he's had it for the majority of that belt's life. Any quick notes? You guys want to make a prediction off the bat?
Well, I think it's pretty interesting that Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne had came together to form this alliance. I would not expect to see them two come together, but I don't think it's going to last. I don't think they're going to be on the winning end of this match. So I think it's going to come down between either the Undisputed Era retaining or the Authors of Pain, which Authors of Pain, of course, has Paul Ellering in their corner, and that might help out even the battlefield with Undisputed Era having that third guy hanging on the outside. But I guess we'll have to see.
What do you think, Jeremy?
I see right now the Undisputed Era is going to retain the championship due to pretty much it's going to be a knockout blowout. Because you take Roderick Strong, Pete Dunne, pretty much they're gonna have some issues, probably during the match or whatnot have you, and then and Undisputed Era is gonna take advantage of it and get the win.
I've also got Undisputed Era winning, although I don't think the Freebird rules I was talking about are going to apply tonight. The reason being is that Adam Cole is in that North American ladder match, so I'm not sure if he's going to be down there with the rest of his team, whether he's going to sit it out and wait for his match. We'll have to wait and see on that. But again, we all got Undisputed Era retaining. So moving on, next up we got the NXT Women's Championship. It's a single match between the champion Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler. So Baszler, I didn't realize, is a former MMA athlete. Excuse me.
She's vicious too.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. I mean, I've seen some clips of her, and she's like no holds bar most of the time. What do you think?
I'd say Shayna Baszler's gonna pretty much come to NXT Women's champion.
I'm going to go with Ember Moon on this one. She has been very great in the ring, and of course she has that finisher of the Eclipse. It's like a top from the top rope, and it turns into a stunner. It's really brutal, and it's really devastating for anyone who gets hit by that. And I think Ember Moon's going to eclipse her.
Is it even better than a Stone Cold Stunner?
I would even say it is, because it just looks
it's more athletic.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure. I'm taking Shayna too, and I would expect her to make Ember pass out tonight. So,
not going to happen.
No?
Nah.
You don't think so?
Ember's going to get the win.
And then we've also got an unsanctioned match, and it's going to be pitting Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. And the reason this is an unsanctioned match is if, first of all, let me start to say this. These guys used to be partners.
Oh, yeah.
Was it DIY? Mm-hmm. I think that was the name of the team. Yeah, and they split a year ago. Of course, they've been building up to this.
Themselves.
Yeah. Now, Gargano has to win in order to be reinstated back onto the roster. First of all, how do you think this was going to play out?
I think Gargano is going to win. I'm not sure what they're going to do. If they're going to be in the ring and start from there, and then they're just going to go wherever. We're going to start in the backstage area. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but I think Gargano is going to get the win, whatever happens. I think he'll get back in.
Yeah, and I can see actually Ciampa winning, and the reason I say that is it gives them a reason to move Gargano up to the main roster after WrestleMania. You know, if he's no longer on the roster down low, then they can send him up, right? Doesn't that make sense?
That could happen, but I think Gargano has that fight in him where he can get the win and pull it off and show that he should still be here. And Ciampa needs to get out of his way.
Right. And then finally, of course, the big match of the TakeOver pay-per-view NXT Championship is going to be a singles match between Cien Almas and Aleister Black. So I'm looking forward to this one. What do you think is going to happen?
Aleister Black has that, like, very cautious when he gets into the ring, very slow, but he can strike just like a viper, if you will. He's very quick, and when he finishes the match, he does like a meditation type of thing. So I think he's going to get the win. Of course, Almas, he's very energetic. He's really cool to watch, but he's got that dirty side I just don't like about him. So I'm going to have to go with Aleister Black on this one.
All right, what about you, Jeremy?
I think there's going to be a new champion coming at NXT. A new champion. It's going to be Aleister Black, pretty much, who's have his game elevated. He's pretty much, I like his high move, his good moves and everything, especially in the in-ring, especially and everything with the drop kicks and all of that. I pretty much see that happening.
Now, I'm taking Black as well, but I've got, I wrote down some notes. I didn't realize that Almas has actually held the belt since War Games back in November, so he's had it for quite a few months now.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's an athlete, but one thing I've noticed is he needs to work on his microphone game.
Oh, yeah.
But that doesn't mean he shouldn't be champion, but I think that this is another guy that after tonight will end up on one of the main rosters, and that's why I think it's time for Aleister Black to take over that spot. So now that we're done talking about NXT, when we come back from the break, we've actually got an interview with local wrestler Crash Calhoun from the Sand Hills Wrestling Alliance. And then after that, we're going to get into the main show, of course, WrestleMania. Pre-show starting at 5 and the main card starting at 7. So we'll be right back with all that from the RO Sports Show's WrestleMania special.
Rockingham Farm Supply in downtown Rockingham at the corner of 220 and Green Street's a great place to stop by and have some fellowship and fun. Pick up your dog food, seed, even chicks for your farm, a little bit of everything, and a great selection of zero-turn lawnmowers and other lawn care products. Stop by and visit the local family-friendly atmosphere at Rockingham Farm Supply. Again, that's Rockingham Farm Supply, corner of 220 and Green Street in downtown Rockingham.
At Richmond Community College, we can prepare you for a high-skill, high-paying career in a variety of fields. From business to education, engineering, utilities, healthcare, criminal justice, information technology, and human services. At Richmond Community College, we can save you thousands of dollars on tuition through our university transfer programs that provide a seamless transition to universities and colleges throughout North Carolina. At Richmond Community College, we are always developing new courses and programs in response to the communities we serve. We offer day, evening, and online courses, and you can now complete 5 curriculum programs entirely online. At Richmond Community College, we believe in helping you prepare for a better life. Richmond Community College. Local college, big impact.
And welcome back to the RO Sports Show WrestleMania special. Now, as I mentioned before the break, we've got local wrestler Crash Calhoun here from the Sand Hills Wrestling Alliance. Appreciate you joining us. Now, talk to us just a minute about what exactly the Sand Hills Wrestling Alliance is.
The Sand Hills Wrestling Alliance is a company my father used to own. He had from, I would say, 1998 to about 2004. He got hurt. Recently, I asked him if I could bring it back, and he told me I could. And for the first show that we're going to do, our reboot show is going to be for my mom. Her name is Jody Harrell, and she has multiple sclerosis, and she's had that for 7 years.
So, talking about the show, the reboot show you guys are going to do, give us a little bit of information, the details about that.
Okay. The show is going to be held at the Richmond County Rescue Squad on Rockingham Road. And to get doors open at 6:30. Bell time is at 7:30. Tickets are $8. Kids 10 and under get in free with the purchase of an adult ticket.
And that's at the door?
At the door.
Okay. Now, I got to ask you, I want to get a quick prediction from you since WrestleMania is tomorrow night. I think the best one to ask you would be the WWE Championship, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Who you taking?
I'm going to take Shinsuke. I believe it is his time.
Time for him to win, huh? All right. Well, once again, we appreciate you joining us. Crash Calhoun from the Sand Hills Wrestling Alliance. We'll be right back for more from the RO Sports Show's WrestleMania special.
Exit Realty Platinum in Rockingham has listed one of the most beautiful homes in Richmond County. Located in Rockingham on Ledbetter Lake, the home features 4 bedrooms with bamboo floors and a kitchen featuring stainless steel appliances and granite countertops, and a master bedroom that overlooks Ledbetter Lake, along with a spacious tile shower and the attached master bathroom. The open living space leads to the back deck with a perfect view of Ledbetter Lake, and the property features its own boat dock. Want to see this beautiful home? Call Nicole Hayden with Exit Realty Platinum, your source for homes in Richmond and Moore counties.
Welcome back to the RO Sports Show WrestleMania special. Now, moving forward on the card for WrestleMania, we're going to first talk about the Andre the Giant Battle Royal match, which has now been kind of a tradition for what, 2 or 3 years now?
Yeah.
I think Big Show was the first one to win it.
Who was it?
Big Show.
Big Show. And then Cesaro won it after that, didn't he? I know
Cesaro
beat Big Show, yeah.
I think Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin won it last year because I remember he wore that last.
Actually, Mojo Rawley won it last year.
Yeah, I mean Mojo.
Was Baron Corbin. So 4 years.
Yeah, I guess this would be the 4th. Yeah, because Mojo had help from Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah.
But we've already got some names for the list here. Of course, we're expecting to see some more because it's a battle royal, so the more the merrier.
Oh, yeah.
But just some names already listed for the card. We've got Dolph Ziggler, Matt Hardy.
Delete.
I knew you were going to do that. The tag team of the Revival, Mojo Rawley, who I just mentioned, Baron Corbin, who you just mentioned, Goldust, Ty Dillinger, and Breezango, which is, of course, Tyler Breeze and Fandango. Now, when we get a prediction from you guys, then we'll move on to the next little thing here. Who you got winning it?
Delete. Bro, I really think Matt Hardy's going to win this. I think he's on a high roll right now going on. Of course, he defeated Bray Wyatt. He has made him obsolete now. So I think Matt Hardy's got his high horse going on here.
All right, Jeremy, who do you think is going to pull out the Battle Royal?
You know what? I'm going for a dark horse. I'm a dark horse person. I got to say Dolph Ziggler. I think this guy is pretty much, I call him like the new age of Shawn Michaels, but I think Dolph Ziggler needs to be pushed a little bit more. And I think if he wins this Andre the Giant Battle Royal, I think that will pretty much put him on a plateau where the WWE can look at him and say, hey, let's push him to get more exposure. Maybe we can get him another world title shot, U.S. title, Intercontinental title. So
yeah, both good picks. Matt Hardy, of course, the veteran. Dolph Ziggler, veteran too, but has a lot of talent and hasn't been getting pushed as much as he probably should. I'm going to say I probably would have said Dolph first, but I'm going to go with Baron Corbin, another guy that is an up and comer.
Two-time.
Yeah, and has already won it. Now, with that being said, I also want to ask you guys: do you expect to see any surprises during this match? Anybody coming out that maybe we haven't seen in a while?
I think Rey Mysterio might make an appearance because he was in the Royal Rumble earlier this year. I think he can make one in this one. Maybe make that comeback officially.
Sure.
For a battle royal for this occasion, I would love to see a guy. I would like to see Mark Henry come out there and try to pretty much dominate.
Fresh out of the Hall of Fame.
Yes, I would love to see Mark Henry come and just to say, hey, I just got that to the Hall of Fame. I just want to go out there and just give it one last shot.
I've got a guy that a lot of people have kind of forgotten about because he's been injured, but I could see Big Cass coming back.
Oh, yeah.
And being in this match and winning it. Because until he got hurt, he was an up and coming big guy.
Because he was world champion at one time.
No, he was he was tag team champs. I can't remember their names now.
Enzo and Cass.
Yeah, Enzo and Cass. Yeah. He's never won a world championship, but he's one of those guys when he first came up, you're like, I can see him, filling that void later on.
Yeah.
Another guy that I could see coming into this match is Samoa Joe. He's been missing in action for a little while now.
Yeah.
And then of course, we could always have a Jeff Hardy sighting during this as well.
Yeah, with Matt Hardy for one time.
Killian Dane from NXT came out there last year and nearly won it. I think we might have somebody from NXT as well come up this year. I'm not sure who yet, but certainly.
Now, since we've named a lot of these guys, if any of these happened, would you change your pick for the win?
Probably not.
Still go with Matt?
They're all going to be obsolete.
Okay.
Yeah, if it come to shove, I'll still go with Dolph Ziggler, but Dolph Ziggler probably my guy that I'll pick because, hey, like I say, he, a veteran in the game and needs to be pushed.
If anybody stands out among the list that we have right now, I would say the biggest underdog would be Ty Dillinger.
Yeah.
And he could possibly win this.
Yeah, and he came out 10th in the Royal Rumble year before last, I believe it was.
2 years in a row he did,
actually.
He is the perfect 10.
That's right. Now, I said that I would pick Baron Corbin. If Big Cass comes out, though, I'm taking him. So I'm kind of leaning on both sides of it here. So. And then next matchup for this little segment here, we've got the Cruiserweight champion. Or excuse me, let me start over. We've got another Battle Royal. Almost skipped it. The Women's Battle Royal is also going to be taking place. And I'll read off some of the names for this one as well. Sasha Banks, Bayley, Becky Lynch, who you love, Naomi, Natalya, and the Riot Squad, which is a group of ladies that came up recently, I guess, from the NXT that consists of Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan. So, prediction time. Who do you think's going to win this?
You might be able to see
Becky
this,
Lynch.
but I've got this Becky Lynch side plate here on my title. I also got this right here on my head, and I also got the shirt here.
He's been hiding it down there.
Yeah, you've been hiding out the goods. Oh, Lord have mercy.
I'm doing a Lee Corso shirt pick here.
Is that the last kicker?
It is.
Nice. Well, we know who he's taking. What about you, Jeremy? Who do you think's going to win the Women's Battle Royal?
For this one, I would love to see my baby. I would love to see Sasha Banks get it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I can definitely see Sasha Banks.
She's overrated.
I don't know that she's overrated. She's just, to me, she's by far the most popular one.
Yeah, she really is.
And that doesn't necessarily mean anything, obviously. But, looking at these names, except for the Riot Squad group, they've all had gold before. So, anybody could win this one. And maybe you see Ruby Riott or one of those other squad members coming out of the blue and win it as well. And you mentioned Absolution. More than likely is going to get added to this too, don't you think?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And maybe even Mickie James. She has not been listed yet, but I know she might have something to do with a Raw Women's title match. We'll talk about later. But
and I've got Mickie James as somebody that I think could show up out of the blue on this one.
Hold on, wait a minute. Mickie James back, and I've been missing it.
She's been back for a while.
For over a year now.
Wow! I really did get back on my wrestling. I'm so sorry.
But besides those names, anybody else you think might show up out of the blue?
I would love to see some former women's champions and Trish Stratus and Lita can make an appearance, which they still well loved by the WWE fans. And pretty much, I like to see Molly Holly come back.
Yeah, well, she's already there.
Yeah.
I think we could see Lita come back for sure, and maybe even someone from NXT like Ember Moon come out and give her a shot at winning this thing.
She could, especially if she loses her NXT championship match. Here's a name I'm going to throw out there, and I'm hoping that we see her husband first, but Michelle McCool is somebody I think could slip in there. She's still a great athlete. She's still in shape. And of course, we'll get into her counterpart later on in the show. We hope, but and I'm I'm not going to spoil it who I'm talking about. But if you follow wrestling, you know who I'm mentioning here.
Yeah.
And then finally, like I was saying before, I got all mixed up here. The Cruiserweight Championship also taking place in WrestleMania. Cedric Alexander facing off with Mustafa Ali. Now this is the final match of a tournament that they've been putting on. Correct? That they'll decide who's going to win the belt at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to pick Cedric Alexander to win this one.
Okay.
I'd say the same. Cedric is going to retain.
I'm just going to take Mustafa Ali simply because I've noticed, just doing some research, that he's been getting a big push from NXT, or excuse me, from WWE, and I can see him winning the Cruiserweight Championship. So, and then we'll wait and see. I'm sure they'll do some matchups later on, some rematches between these two, because I expect anytime we see a Cruiserweight matchup, the guys are flying all over the ring.
They're a lot of fun to watch.
A lot of fun to watch, and they're underrated. Doesn't get the sometimes the credit that it do.
205 Live.
Right, and they have their own show. You're absolutely right, but I just love watching those guys fly all around the ring. So
I think they will do good on Monday Night Raw. The problem I have with the Cruiserweights and being on Raw is that they make it like it's this own show when they put it on there, because everything just turns purple all of a sudden.
Right.
I think they should include them as part of the actual show, not as a separate thing. Cause I think I've been to one of them before, and it feels like just like a bathroom break in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say that, but you're absolutely right. I'm not really sure why they've decided to make it its own entity when, like you said, for the longest time it was always included on Raw or SmackDown or whatever when they were combined.
And Raw's a 3-hour show. They got plenty of time to put it on.
Exactly. But at the same time, I guess it does give all the cruiserweights a platform, on their own too. So I can see it from that point. But they need to take 3 or 4 of these guys and build them up and have some epic cruiserweight matches. Yeah. Which I think would be great. But we're going to continue to move on after the break. We're going to be talking about more from the card. We're going to have, of course, later on the WWE Championship, the Universal Championship, maybe some surprises along the way. All that and more when we come right back from the RO Sports Show's WrestleMania Special.
My name is Jim Leach, and we have been using the Tim Hayden Construction Company for the last several years.
My name is Dave Owens and my wife Beth. We had some damage here at our place in Knollwood Village.
January 2nd, our house flooded upstairs coming through to the first floor.
Tim has responded very quickly with his team of people.
Our repairs went extremely well.
Tim made a very difficult situation much easier for us.
With hospice, you guys just outdo yourselves every day. And I really appreciate it. I honest to God don't know what I would do if it weren't for you. The things that you do, I'm in approval of. And thank you. I don't know what else to say other than thank you.
And welcome back to the RO Sports Show's WrestleMania Special, and it's time to talk tag teams. First up, we're going to talk about the Raw Tag Team Championship match, and this one's very interesting for one big reason, and that big reason is Braun Strowman. Now, right now, The Bar, who is, of course, Sheamus and Cesaro, are the champions, but Braun Strowman won a Tag Team Battle Royal a couple weeks ago to get into this position by himself. So let me ask you a question first. Does he have a chance of winning a handicap match like this?
Man, yes, he does. I mean, he's Braun Strowman. He's taken on so many guys at once and has won. He is so hard to knock down. When you do, it's just like a surprise when he goes down to one knee. I cannot see him losing this match whatsoever.
Even if he's by himself?
By himself, he can do it.
It
could be 5-on-1. He'll win.
Wow.
Braun Strowman, he's in the lead all by himself. I'm still trying to figure out why he's not world champion yet, but it'll come very soon. Braun Strowman, I truly believe, because his persona, he's so huge and he's so predominant in his profession, I don't see how he can't win a tag team title by himself with Sheamus and Cesaro. But the person that he may get to pretty much give, if he was going to choose, I'd like to see him give it to Bray Wyatt.
Like to come down and
Yeah,
fight with him.
Yeah.
You could very well
Bray
see
Wyatt
that.
ever comes back up from that lake.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. He's been missing in action as well. So, maybe there's a chance he comes back and joins up with him. And another guy that I was thinking that I mentioned earlier, Big Cass, I think could also end up showing up in this match. But I'm with you, Russell. This guy can flip over an ambulance. He can flip over a bar.
I mean,
This man can flip over a car.
He's the monster among men, and Sheamus and Cesaro are taking them very lightly. I'd say
they are, which would be a mistake.
Ever since they got together, when they first got together, they were like, I don't know about this, but when they got together, they were a great tag team. But now they've gotten over their heel over heads now.
Overconfident. Yeah,
very overconfident, and I don't see them at all walking away from this, and literally not walking away.
But it would. There's no precedent though for one person holding the tag team titles, though, is there? I can't remember anyone else doing that.
I think he'll have a partner. He's going to have to.
Yeah, you think they will? I mean, we're sitting here mentioning, about how strong he is, and WWE knows how powerful this guy is.
I think they're going to have to make him get one because Seth Rollins and what's that one guy? Jason Jordan. Those two, they couldn't do it on their own. They had to be together. So I think it's going to have to be the same case here with Braun Strowman. And I think he's going to find somebody worthy to be around him. He probably thinks nobody does, and I kind of agree on that. But we'll have to see what he does.
Yeah, and I mean, you're right. Like the bar, it just doesn't seem like they're taking him seriously. And these are two guys, Cesaro and Sheamus, that should know what they're getting into. But you're right. It kind of seems like they're just like, ho hum. We've been champs for a while. We can handle this. It's just one guy. Of course, like you said, it's a mountain of a guy.
Oh yeah.
I'll still wait. I would love to see a dream match between Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. That would be a match I want to see.
Yeah, and I think they've got into it a few times.
Kane was in a triple threat match with them.
No, I'm talking 1-on-1.
Yeah, I would like to see that too.
Yeah,
Braun Strowman has broken the ring before.
Yes, yeah, I've seen that happen.
Big Show could be a partner possibly.
Very well could. Yeah, another guy that's hanging out there that's, as far as we know, doesn't have a set match. Of course, we could also see the Big Show in the Andre the Giant Memorial as well.
Yeah, because he won it in the past. So.
But, now that we talked about the Raw Tag Team Championships, we're going to move over to the blue brand. SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, are facing off against the New Day and the Bludgeon Brothers. And if you're not familiar with them, that is the former Wyatt family, right? And I really like the new look that they have. It's different. I think it fits their personas because it kind of goes back to the way the Wyatt family was. And of course, the New Day, who have been, in my opinion, are Hall of Fame tag team champions.
They was a tag team.
Really great.
Yeah, they were tag team champions for like a whole year.
Yeah, actually, I think it was over a year.
Yeah, and
the longest reigning tag team in WWE history.
Yeah, and the popularity of New Day is pretty much is always on the rise because you'll never know what you're going to expect from those three guys. It's just so funny, especially with the blowing the trumpet and everything. Like, it's so funny.
I went to Raw in Greensboro in 2016, and everybody in line, they were just going, New Day rocks. Everybody was doing it.
Day rock.
Personally, I was going New Day sucks. And I still will say
not a New Day fan.
I'm not a New Day fan.
I am
they're funny, but I don't like because they're a three-man team, and I don't like the Freebird rule at all. I like if these two people want it, those two people need to defend the titles every time. That's why I don't really like them for that because they switch them out like that.
I got you.
I'm going with the Usos on this one because they are a lot of fun to watch.
You're going to stick them to retain, all right? What do you think?
I'm sticking to the Samoan family, Rikishi's boys. I'm going for the Usos.
Okay. I think this could be one of those sneaky match of the night candidates. I'm actually going to take the Bludgeon Brothers. And I think the reason being is that they haven't tasted gold as this tag team yet. And I could see them coming out. And, I mean, these two big guys, Harper and what's the other guy's name?
Rowan.
Rowan, yeah. Eric Rowan. Two big guys that are actually pretty athletic and nimble and can move around the ring. And, I mean, none of these tag teams are bad, obviously, but I think I can see them being as the underdog to make the upset for that.
But my thing is, I mean, you can change your creepiness level all you want, but it's still not going to make you any better than the Usos.
Yeah, just like you can see the Bludgeon Brothers, you can see it'd be nice to see if Eric Harper and Rowan wins. Eric Rowan wins the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, and you can see Braun Strowman choosing Bray Wyatt to win the Raw. So the Wyatt family have gold again.
Absolutely, yeah. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, I mean, again, anybody could win this one, but I think that the Bludgeon Brothers are two guys that are underrated. You know, you're talking about changing the creepiness factor. Yes, that's true to a point, but I think that they're two guys that are overdue, at least for right now, to win some more tag team gold. So, but done with the tag teams. We're going to keep moving on through the card. When we get back from the break, we're going to talk about the United States Championship and the Intercontinental title. Of course, The Miz holding that one, and I actually like The Miz, even though he's kind of a heel a little bit. But, of course, we're going to get into all that and more when we come right back from the RO Sports Show's WrestleMania special.
McNair Auto Sales is the place to buy your pre-owned car, truck, or van. To be the best, it takes big selection, friendly staff, and great pricing. We guarantee a no-hassle buying experience, and financing is available right on site. So come see us today. We're located at 1026 East Broad Avenue in Rockingham. And remember, with over 40 years of experience, you know McNair is the name you can trust.
Welcome back to the RO Sports Show's WrestleMania special, and we are navigating our way through the main card for WrestleMania tomorrow night. Now, talking first about a couple of the mid-tier championships, the United States Championship. Randy Orton is going to be facing off, he's the champ, against Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, and Rusev. So we've got a fatal four-way match. What do you see happening in this, Russell?
Well, I was going to say to start off with, it's going to be a glorious match. Bobby Roode winning it all, but...
Can't wait for that entrance.
Yeah, that's going to be epic.
Yeah.
But I think between him and Shinsuke Nakamura is going to be the best one.
Right.
So we'll have to see we'll talk about that later. But Randy Orton, obviously the champion right now, but I don't think he's going to hold on to it. I don't think Jinder Mahal's going to win it either. I think it's going to be a glorious Rusev day.
Oh, okay.
So something's going to happen, but I think Rusev's going to get the pin.
Okay.
We're looking at Randy for this championship. We're looking at Randy Orton, who already proven to be a veteran in his own right. I can see far as if it pretty much knockout blowout, pretty much, you know, I'm looking forward for the entrances of these four guys. But I think when it comes push shove, I'm gonna see Randy Orton get that RKO on Jinder Mahal. 1, 2, 3, and retains.
All right, then I'm going to take Bobby Roode because I think, first of all, he's a great athlete. And again, I love watching his entrance, but I love watching him wrestle as well because he puts you away with that DDT when you're not looking. I mean, kind of like the RKO, he can kind of come out of nowhere with that as well. I really like Rusev, too. You know, Rusev's big, Bulgarian brute. Yeah. And, you know, he can put a hurting on you, too, if you're not careful.
But with Aiden English in his corner, too.
Yeah,
he's got a beautiful voice, too. I'm going to add that on there.
Oh, wow.
But, Aiden English could be the, you know, the deciding factor later on because it would not doubt me one bit if they try to get sneaky and pull a sneakeroo and, you know, get the ref looking somewhere else and Aiden comes in there and, you know, you never know what happens. And Rusev could be champ.
It's going to be a great Rusev day.
Yeah,
certainly.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. But again, I think it's going to be just glorious. So
I still say Randy Orton gonna win.
But also,
I got a question now. Do you think your record's going to be perfect after this one?
Okay, we talking about wrestling. Now wrestling, I don't think so. My streak gonna probably end coming this weekend.
We've finally done it. We just had to get into WrestleMania to do it. But moving on, also going to talk about the IC belt, the Intercontinental Championship. The Miz, Mike Mizanin, has got the championship right now. He's going up in a triple threat match against Seth Rollins, the Architect, and the Demon, Finn Balor, which brings me to my first question. Is this guy coming out as the Demon on Sunday?
I think so.
Yeah.
He's got to,
really,
right?
Yeah.
Both competitors against him, yeah.
Absolutely. I think that Finn Balor feeds off of that when he changes his character really. It's like another personality almost.
Oh, yeah.
So he got winning this.
Well, let me first off say that this match is very unfair. I don't like the fact that The Miz has to defend his title against two other players. He doesn't even have to be pinned to lose that title.
Or submit.
Yeah, and I think that's so unfair for The Miz to have to go through that. But I'm going to pick The Miz to retain He's been in this situation before. A few years ago, he had a fatal 4-way match, and he won the retained title. He's done it many times over and over and over, and he is simply awesome in the ring. So I got him winning it.
All right, what do you think, Jeremy? IC champ, who's going to be?
I think it's going to be awesome. I think The Miz is going to pretty much retain this title. Like Russell said, he's been in these situations before where the odds was against the wall, and he always come out on top. So I can see Miz retaining.
You know, we're going to go 3 for 3 here. I'm also taking The Miz. I will say this, though. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor are hungry.
Yeah.
You know, they've been looking for somebody to fight, and now they've got somebody. Now, I know this past Monday Night Raw, they actually had a match between themselves, and Miz was on commentary, and I kept waiting for him to come down there and there'd be a confrontation. That didn't happen, which I found interesting. But
because The Miz has respect.
Exactly, yeah. He's got respect because he's been doing it for a long time now. I remember when The Miz came up, and he was kind of a scrawny guy, but he had a great personality and would, talk smack to you all day long, and still does that to perfection. And that
I say he can rival John Cena on the mic.
Absolutely, he's one of the best on the mic, in my opinion.
He knows how to make the crowd hate him.
Absolutely,
in this generation.
Yeah, well,
The Rock got an attitude there.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'm with you guys. I think that The Miz will retain with the IC Championship belt. You think there might be some shenanigans afoot, though, with this one? For some reason, I think we may see, I don't even know, just some kind of surprise, perhaps, having something to do with the IC belt. I just have a gut feeling.
You know that The Miz has the Miz-tourage.
Right.
And I think they're going to be, I don't think they're going to get themselves involved in the match because they're very respectable gentlemen. They're not going to mess with that match. But I do think that they'll have a lot of support there to help out The Miz and get him that win.
They'll definitely be ringside, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be ringside. They might pull some little tactics with the referee where he can take advantage of the situation.
Right, because that's one thing that even when Miz is by himself, he's very good at getting his way, making the ref look this way and going that way. And then if he's got Bo Dallas and Kurt Axel on the outside, makes it even easier for him. Another reason why I think we'll see him be successful and retain the Intercontinental Championship. Now, we're going to take another quick commercial break as we move further in to the main meat of the card. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the Raw and SmackDown's Women's Championship matches, all that and more when we come back on the RO Sports Show's WrestleMania Special.
Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts is all about rustic home decor and gifts. You will always find a variety of unique antiques, vintage, and new items in our shop. Come and see our selection of housewarming, new baby, and wedding gifts. For the man in your life, we have many collectibles, Boker knives, and leather. And ladies love the jewelry, purses, candles, hats, and t-shirts. We also offer a 30-day layaway program. Come and experience shopping at Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts.
Welcome back to the RO Sports Show's WrestleMania Special. Now, as I mentioned before the break, it's time for the Women's Championship matches. Let's start with Raw, guys. We've got Alexa Bliss, the champion, going up against Nia Jax. Who you got?
I'm going to pick Nia Jax to win this one because I think she is out for more than just a championship. She's out for revenge. And, of course, Alexa Bliss said a lot of nasty things about her.
Yes, she did.
And I know she is not happy about it. I know a lot of people who are not happy about it, too. But I think Nia's got that chip on her shoulder where she can go out there and she's going to squash Alexa Bliss, as she said 2 weeks ago.
Maybe literally. Who you got, Jeremy?
This gonna be a new women's champion coming WrestleMania, Nia Jax, who pretty much a woman who pretty much giving her all 100% day in day out, and like Russell said, she's out for revenge, got a chip on her shoulder to the degree where it say, I'm gonna get you.
We're 3 for 3 again because I'm taking Nia Jax as well. She's just been kind of Alexa Bliss has just been kind of bullying Nia Jax.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nowhere else to put it.
Exactly.
And she's just had enough of it, And I think tomorrow night she's going to take out all that aggression, like you said, on Alexa Bliss because she's bigger than Alexa, and I think that's going to have a lot to do with it to be able to overpower her and get the win.
I remember back in NXT when they had fought each other. Nia Jax was dominant back then, and Alexa Bliss never stood a chance. I still don't think she's going to stand a chance. I mean, of course, Alexa does have Mickie James in her corner.
Right.
I honestly don't think it's going to last. I think Mickie James is going to get tired of it because she sees the way that Alexa has done Nia, and Alexa has already done that to Mickie last year around WrestleMania time.
Yeah.
So I consider Mickie to eventually leave Alexa alone or maybe just do a mid kick on her.
Or Alexa, does the same bullying thing, turns on her and kicks her away, or they end up fighting each other later on. We'll have to wait and see on that.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. Alexa Bliss is not one to be trusted, it seems like.
No.
But with that being said, I was talking about The Miz, how he can be sneaky. Alexa Bliss to me has that same thing going for her, where she'll stab you in the back, but she's also champion, and that's kind of what got her there, was it not?
Oh yeah, certainly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now moving on to the SmackDown's Women's Champion, which this one, guys, is going to be a classic, I think. And if you agree with me or not, let me know. But Charlotte Flair, the champion, is going to be facing Asuka. Of course, Asuka won the women's battle royal or the Royal Rumble, to get into this position. She chose to go to SmackDown, which I think was a good choice because it gives us this match right here. So, Charlotte Flair, Asuka, who you got? You think she's going to lose that streak?
Woo! Yes, I think she will. I think Charlotte is going to walk out at WrestleMania still the SmackDown Women's Champion because, honestly, personally, I'm tired of Asuka. I'm tired of her undefeated streak. It's getting old seeing her win over and over and over, and I think that this will finally be her day if she loses. Of course, she did get to win that Mixed Match Challenge, and they did a pretty good, solid matchup in that game. So I don't know how they're going to deal with that WrestleMania less than a week.
Right.
And I don't know if Asuka has that agility there to continue on through that many matches. But what I say about it, I still think Charlotte is the most dominant woman right now in WWE, and her holding that title and holding the Raw Women's Championship before, as well as having the Divas Championship beforehand and the NXT Women's Championship. So she's done a lot, and I think she could still hold her own and go against Asuka.
And of course, it's in her blood too. So.
Oh yes.
Yeah. All right, who you got, Jeremy?
I'm gonna go with Charlotte Flair, who's gonna retain the championship because she's on a roll. Pretty much continues to do what she does best in the ring, and I think she's gonna get Asuka a good run for her money.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with Asuka continuing this undefeated streak. Yes, it has gone on for quite a while. What is it now? Like 2 years, maybe longer than that, where she's gone undefeated.
Ever since she's been in NXT,
yeah.
She defeated Bayley then, and of course she's beaten a whole bunch of other ones.
She's beaten a lot of them, a lot of former champions.
I want to change my prediction. Actually, I just thought of something.
You can't change your prediction, man.
I just thought of something.
It's a WrestleMania show. We can do whatever we want to.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I think Carmella's going to do. She's going to become the women's champion. Because she's going to cash in. I think she's going to cash in.
People forget she's still holding on to that.
That Money in the Bank.
She's failed a few times going against Charlotte recently, but I think now 30 times the charm, it's going to work, especially when these two go at it as hard as they possibly can.
Wear each other out.
Yeah, and then Carmella's going to come up there. She's going to skip to the ring.
Take that opportunity.
Hand that that Money in the Bank contract in. 1, 2, 3. I think she might pin Charlotte, though.
All right, well,
I'm good with that.
Absolutely, that could happen. We could also see that on the Raw Women's Championship side too, couldn't we? I mean, does it work for both brands?
Right?
I
think whichever one you win, though, I think you have to go to that brand.
Right, absolutely. But I think as long as it stays between Charlotte and Asuka, I'm going to take Asuka just because she's been so dominant. Of course, she's running into, like you said, the ultimate women's athlete in WWE right now in Charlotte Flair. But again, I think on the biggest stage, I could see Asuka staying undefeated. So, but moving on from the women's championships, when we come back, we've got some tag team championships. Not the tag team championships that we were speaking about earlier, but some matches that are going to be involving Ronda Rousey, Stephanie McMahon getting in there, Triple H and Kurt Angle. And a couple other matches as well. And then after that, of course, we're going to get into the big-time championships, as well as will we see John Cena and The Undertaker fight. So all of that and more when we come back from the RO Sports Show WrestleMania Special.
Family Pharmacy is a local pharmacy that's been in business in Rockingham for over 10 years. Located in the Food Lion Shopping Center on US 1 North, we have easy access into the store and a drive-thru for your convenience as well. You can download the official Family Pharmacy app at myfamilypharmacy.com, and we'll help you set it up to text you when your prescription is ready, and you can even set it up to fill your prescriptions when due. Our motto is we'll treat you like family, and it's something we truly mean. We take the same care in filling your prescription that we would take for our own family. Family Pharmacy. We'll treat you like family.
Welcome back to the RO Sports Show's WrestleMania Special. Now, as I mentioned, we've got some special tag team matches that are coming up next on the card. First off, we've been talking about it for a few months now. Ronda Rousey came over from UFC, is now in the WWE, signed her official contract. Of course, a few people have gone through some tables since then. But she's teaming up with Kurt Angle. They're going to be going up against the Authority, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. What do you think about this one, guys?
Stephanie's back in the ring after how many years now?
I'm not even sure.
But I think that's pretty cool to see her back in the ring. However, I don't think she's going to like circumstances because she's facing against Ronda Rousey, who has flattened her before.
Yes, she has.
I think Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle can get it done. Of course, Kurt Angle being an Olympic gold medalist, he's never really been able to get Triple H's number, but I think he's going to get it this time with Ronda in his corner.
All right.
This is going to be a funny match. It's going to be real funny because you're looking at Ronda Rousey saying come from UFC, come to the WWE, pretty much you know the history of Ronda Rousey. I remember when she first came on the scene, him and The Rock together at WrestleMania 2 years ago, and pretty much handled the Authority, and everybody knew what happened in that frame, and I thought that was so cool. But this time we're looking at Kurt Angle. It's good to see Kurt Angle back in the ring once again. From the angle slam to the ankle lock to the belly to bellies, even with the diving, going on these top rope, making all these good moves. I think when push comes to shove, I think Ronda Rousey and Kurt will pick up the win between Triple H and Stephanie, because Triple H and Stephanie pretty much been bullying Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle for so long, and I think they're getting tired of the bullying, getting told what to do regardless. Kurt Angle's the GM, but I think what's going to come down to is once Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle beat Triple H and Stephanie, is going to be pretty much going to be said and done.
I can the thing that stuck out to me was Stephanie McMahon is the weakest link between these four people. Mm-hmm. Because you take Kurt Angle, you take Triple H, they wash each other out. If you had Ronda Rousey fighting Stephanie McMahon straight up, I think Rousey wins that 9 out of 10 times at least. I will say this, though. Stephanie did get a little bit of revenge this past week on Raw. She actually threw Ronda through a table, which I wasn't expecting, and I know the crowd watching wasn't expecting either. But so, maybe this might be a little closer than we think. It's not like Stephanie's never been in the ring before, right?
Yeah.
But I'm with you guys. Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle, I see them getting the victory.
Ronda will rip out Stephanie's socket with an armbar. Oh,
it's
true.
Yes.
It's damn true.
And I've been seeing Rousey training for this. She's training hard.
Yes.
I mean, it's like she would be in a UFC match. So for anybody out there that's thinking that she's not taking this seriously, you can forget that, because she is all in to, like you said, take down Stephanie and get some revenge from a couple years ago. Let me ask you guys this. You mentioned this. Does The Rock show up for this anywhere?
I believe he will, because this is why I can see when you look at Kurt Angle, Triple H fighting, going one-on-one, and then you can actually see, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? That's going to make the crowd electrifying, where that can look, everybody going to have goosebumps. And then at the same time, everybody remember 2 years ago at the WrestleMania, Rock and Triple H went at it.
Right.
And which they called, and then I could see Stephanie was literally about to slap Ronda Rousey, and next thing I know, Ronda Rousey gave Stephanie the armbar.
Yeah.
That just like, please stop! It's hurting you hurt my arm.
And that's exactly what I think we might end up seeing on Sunday.
Yeah, of course, because Triple H and Stephanie are certainly not going to play nice in this game.
No.
They're going to go in. They're going to have some tricks up their sleeves. And, of course, The Rock, I think he's going to be watching this very closely.
Yes.
And when he sees something going on, he's going to come down there and aid Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
I agree. And I wonder even if this thing really gets out of hand, maybe someone from the Authority's past comes out there, and then The Rock comes down and he has to even things up,
Maybe something like Samoa Joe.
Something like that, absolutely.
No.
Well, he has kind of been Triple H's tool.
He has. For a while there, he was his enforcer.
Yeah.
I was thinking about somebody from the past, like D-Generation X. I think old school.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could see like maybe the New Age Outlaws or something like that. But I think with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon being the Authority, I could see someone more along the lines of the Authority figure.
Yeah.
Kane was in the Authority for a while.
Yeah.
You could see maybe Kane come out there. Of course, that's all speculation.
Yeah.
But either way, even without those extra people, this is guaranteed to be a
classic.
heck of a fight.
Classic for a talk.
Now you're talking about getting goosebumps, getting electrified. Another guy that gives people goosebumps is the Yes Movement, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
You got it. Daniel Bryan has been cleared. He's coming back to wrestle, and I couldn't be more excited. And I know the WWE Universe is just as excited. Now, he's teaming up with Shane McMahon. They're going to be going up against KO, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn, the underdogs from the underground. So, this thing's been all over the map. Just first of all, I want to say that. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn looked like they were going to go head-to-head at WrestleMania. Then they end up beating up Shane. They get fired. They end up beating up Daniel Bryan just a couple weeks ago. These guys are unhinged. How does this turn out?
Well, as a fan, you have got to love what you've seen recently with this rivalry going on. I mean, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they've had a lot of they have not been on the same page with her since NXT, and they finally get back on board. Unfortunately, it's on this bad side. They got a bad streak going on with them, and they want to try to take down who they think is the authority, with Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan also trying to do what's best for SmackDown, and they want to give these opportunities to players to their roster, but Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens going at it the wrong way. However, they continue to get these opportunities. I think Daniel Bryan made a mistake giving them another shot to get back in, because of course if Kevin and Sami win, they're going to get their jobs back, which I think is completely unfair after what they have done to their bosses.
But I think what they did was they played Daniel Bryan, which is what they do sometimes. They basically just, and again, they have to win to get reinstated back to the roster. But what do you think? Does that happen?
I don't think it's not going to happen, because you're looking at, Shane O'Mac's coming back to the ring, and this is the thing. Daniel Bryan is coming back to wrestle. Yes.
Let me ask you this: does Shane jump off of something?
Oh yeah. You know what?
He's gonna jump off the sign, WrestleMania sign.
He could. He's jumped off stuff higher than that.
He jumped off the Hell in a Cell against the Undertaker a couple of years ago. So he even jumped off a Titantron. I
was gonna say,
that WrestleMania match. That was the first WrestleMania I ever watched live.
Yeah.
And when I watched that, I just felt all the air in my lungs go out.
Now, I don't know if this is a DQ match or not, but we're probably going to see a trash can or two if Shane's involved too, where he lines them up on one end
coast
and jumps.
To coast.
Yeah, coast to coast, yeah.
But I think it comes down out, and Daniel Bryan coming back to wrestle, which that's going to be an inspiration to a lot of fans, and love seeing him back into
bring a lot of the fans back to the hell left.
In there. Because Daniel Bryan, his big WrestleMania was the last time they were in New Orleans.
Because he beat Triple H for the World Championship.
Yeah, and people hadn't forgot that, because I guarantee you're going to see a lot of the same fans at this show that were at that one.
Oh, yeah.
But I think when it comes to, I think Daniel Bryan and Shane O'Mac's going to pick up the win.
All right, so y'all both think they're going to win?
I don't think
I
didn't make my prediction yet, but
that's my prediction, because
I think Sami and Kevin are going to win. I think, like you mentioned, they've been playing Daniel, and I think Daniel might be sitting here thinking, because he doesn't want to be at the desk anymore. He can wrestle again. Why do he want to sit back there as a general manager? He might not want to work with Shane anymore because of the way he's been. So maybe Daniel might let Shane get pinned. Might.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. I still think that Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon will win. But let's pretend that we all said that that's what happens. If KO and Sami Zayn don't get reinstated, what happens to them?
They go back to Raw. I think they go to Raw.
Think they switch back?
I think so.
They get to Raw, because I think, Sami Zayn and Kevin are going to Raw. I think that can push their careers up to the next plateau.
Yeah. And Kurt Angle, Stephanie, of course they run Raw, and how could they not have them come back?
Take some elite talent.
That's a lot of fans that come over to them and help out. Of course, they've been on Raw before, and they weren't working to go to them. But imagine if you put them in a tag team opportunity there to win the title match. I think that'd be huge. I don't know if they can do it when Braun Strowman gets it, but we'll see.
You are absolutely right, and it'd be interesting to see if they do end up going to Raw. Do they stick together beside each other? Do they turn on each other? Do they?
Well, personally, I would like to see one of them turn on the other, because I would love to see them two against each other in a WrestleMania match.
Yes,
that would be
and you're not the only one. I think a lot of people.
I'll see that. I can see as a dream match for WrestleMania for next year.
Could very well be. Well, we're going to take another quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're getting into the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship, of course, the two biggest matches of the night. We're also going to be looking at maybe we're going to see the Dead Man, maybe not, who knows. We'll get into all that. We'll come right back from the RO Sports Show, WrestleMania Special. And welcome back to the RO Sports Show's WrestleMania special. Now, before we get into the big-time championship matches, it's one that we've seen teased a little bit, and I want to get your guys' opinion on it. John Cena versus The Undertaker. Are we going to see that this year?
I think we'll see it. I mean, I don't know, because Undertaker has not shown up at all, and it's very, very disappointing.
Yeah.
But Cena has probably rattled him a lot, and I think Undertaker is not going to take that too kindly, especially if Cena gets back in the ring again on Sunday and calls him out one more time and then embarrasses him. Of course, everybody watches Monday Night Raw, but everybody in the world is going to watch WrestleMania, and him being humiliated on the biggest stage, he's going to ride up out there and come, and they're going to have a big match.
Now, you said ride. Does he come out on a motorcycle if he shows up?
I would love that.
Right?
I would absolutely love it if he came back as the American Badass.
Okay.
This is right here. John Cena versus The Undertaker. I always say in the years watching WrestleMania, it would never be no WrestleMania without The Undertaker in some kind of form. Like I said, John Cena has been begging The Undertaker to come, and the WWE Universe has been very disappointed because it's very rare not to see The Undertaker come before WrestleMania. And everybody was thinking like, okay, we thinking Monday Night Raw would have been the one that this is where Undertaker would have came in a motorcycle, or he came as the dead man and came on the tire trunk and spoke what he wanted to say, if he's going to accept this challenge or not. Even with the matches where John Cena had to fight his little brother Kane, which that gave some kind of motivation in the process. But I think when the WrestleMania gets here, which my prediction was already is coming, John Cena's going to be in the stand. So he's going to be in the stand somewhere waiting, and he's gonna come out in that ring and he's gonna say his piece one more time. The Undertaker is gonna come. He really is. You say he's coming as the American Badass, I think the lights gonna go out.
All right.
The lights is gonna go out, and that's when you're gonna hear his music.
I hope that The Undertaker comes out. I'm like you. I was disappointed that he has yet to come out and at least come down there, and respond to John Cena. Yeah, just acknowledge the fact. Here's what I think is actually happening, though. I think The Undertaker's messing with John Cena.
His mindset.
I think he's kind of
the best at mind game.
Yeah, because nobody's going to get one over on The Undertaker, even if it is John Cena.
Oh yeah.
Again, I hope that Taker shows up. I think he will because, like you said, it's not WrestleMania without the Taker. And, of course, he's not going to be able to wrestle forever, but in some form or capacity, he needs to be there, whether it's just come out. And, here's a scenario I want to throw out at you, though. First of all, if they fight each other, I think that The Undertaker will win and then actually ride off, maybe, into the sunset as being victorious because, he lost to Brock, then he lost to Roman Reigns. I think he'd like to go out on top with a win. Yeah. But when it comes to WrestleMania and it comes to The Undertaker, no matter who he's fighting, it's always going to be a heck of a show. The Undertaker seems like, I think he had hip surgery earlier this year or later last year. Some people thought last year he was going to retire because they thought his health was getting worse, but it's not. He's the Taker. He's in great shape again, and that's why I think we'll eventually see him come out and face John Cena. I hope he rides out and then rides off, but I'm with you, Jeremy. I think we're going to see the dead man rise, which is always, again, one of the coolest entrances when it comes to WrestleMania.
No. This is what I would love to see, and I think this is my prediction. John Cena going to be in the ring. The light's going to go out. And you might see him come out on that motorcycle. That would be cool.
Yeah, trip them all.
Yeah, everybody out.
Because then Cena's like expecting the dead man, then he gets the American Badass. Like,
I mean, that could just be him messing with him again. Not knowing who to expect or what to expect.
But had the best of both entrances. Had the best of the both.
You know what I would like to see out of the Undertaker though? I would like to see him when he does officially retire from in-ring action. I like to see him come out as a manager to somebody else. Could be a new protege. And that comes to my mind is Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
Hand him the handlebars, if you will.
Yeah.
Because he used to have an entrance song that came out with a motorcycle revving up in the background.
The lone wolf kind of thing that he does. Yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
The scenario I was going to throw at you, though, was this could be a surprise match. Or not a big surprise, but a surprise if, they end up fighting. But could this also be where it's just the confrontation for next year's WrestleMania, and they actually match up at 35?
I don't like that.
I mean, but it wouldn't be unprecedented because they've set up matches a year in advance. You look at John Cena and The Rock a few years ago.
Yeah, I remember that did happen. Yes.
I mean, do you think that could happen? Is that a scenario?
Yeah, that could be.
I think they could wrestle now, maybe again later for a title match.
That would be cool.
I would love to see them fight for a title.
Yeah.
Who gonna be champion?
Cena will be champion.
Yeah.
Win his 17th, and then Undertaker wins it and retires with the belt.
And break Ric Flair's record.
Yeah.
Of course, that's at this point that's just daydreaming, but it's something that'd be cool to see.
And another daydream we could look at too, like this piggyback with The Rock. The Rock could come back and can renew a rivalry with Triple H. That's something they've been putting together for the past 2 years.
Well, that's a whole different rabbit hole that we could go down.
Yeah.
Trying to do daydream matches, but again, Undertaker, John Cena. Hopefully, we're going to see it, and I know that the rest of the universe wants to see it as well. Moving on to the next big time match, we've got the Universal Championship. The champ, the absentee champ, as I call him, Brock Lesnar, facing Roman Reigns, the Roman Empire. So we might all be thinking the same thing on here, but let me start with you. Who do you think is going to win this match?
And I really think it's going to be Roman Reigns here taking it to Brock Lesnar to win this one, because Brock Lesnar, I think he's ready to get out of here, especially if he's not doing much at all. Of course, he hasn't for ever since he's been back. He's always been... He's able to do whatever he wants. And Roman Reigns makes a big, good argument when it comes to that. Guys in the back, they're tired of it. And he's representing this guy. You seen last Monday when Kurt Angle had all those wrestlers come out there and to stop Roman from getting anywhere near Brock. After Roman said what he did, they all parted ways. And he went down there. So I think everybody's going to be behind Roman when it comes down to this match. I think we might have some guys come out there to help out and cheer on Roman, or maybe get involved. I don't know how it's going to go out yet, but I do see Roman winning this one.
And I thought that was very cool because I remember watching that, and I said to myself, they're getting ready to part the Red Sea, so to speak, and get out of his way because of that respect that they have for him, because he's there day in and day out. Whereas, like you said, Brock is just kind of shows up every once in a while, maybe once every couple months, something like that.
And see, people don't like Roman. There's a lot of people out there. A lot of people don't like Roman, but in this scenario, I can't see why you would want to pull for Brock Lesnar to begin with when he doesn't even care about the fans or about this business. It seems like he wants to go off and just make money.
Sure.
And of course, anybody can do what they want. But if you don't like being there, why are you going to pull somebody who doesn't want anything to do with you?
Right.
So, and of course, Roman's always winning. He's a big guy. People don't really like that because of him being that way, but you know what? He's got a lot of respect. I got a lot of respect for him because he's there every single day, every week, putting the work in and getting it done.
What do you think, Jeremy?
I think this is going to be a match. It's going to be pretty much a classic, but we're looking at Roman Reigns. You know what he can do in the ring, and I love his persona, especially with the Superman punch and the spears and everything like that. But like Russell said, Brock Lesnar, a guy who just pretty much a part-time wrestler who doesn't have his ego is so big or to the point where he's too high for his britches. But I think this is going to be you need to be knocked off your high horse a little bit.
Now, this has been a year in the making since we mentioned at the top of the show, Lesnar beat Goldberg last year to win this title that he's had. Now a year later, of course, Roman Reigns beat Taker last year in WrestleMania. Of course, Roman also won the Elimination Chamber a couple months ago to get this spot. I think it's Roman's time.
Yes.
It's time for him to take over that mantle. He's been champ before, correct?
Yes.
But I
not
think
universal. But
not universal.
Oh, it's his first one. Okay.
So I think it's time for Brock to go on, do something else, whether that's go to MMA or whatever it is, and let Roman be the man day in and day out, like I mentioned, the guy that goes on the road, does the house shows. I did think it was interesting, though, on this past Monday, and you probably saw it too, he Superman punched Brock Lesnar like 4 or 5 times.
I seen that.
But Brock kind of got the last word when he F5'd him and then got out of there. So
Roman still was moving around. He wasn't completely out. So.
Right, but it just kind of goes to show you how strong Brock is, where he punched him that many times, and then it took one F5, and Roman was not down and out, but he was hurting. So
we'll see how he does against the Spear, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Seen that yet.
No, he hasn't. Now, what we all think should and could be the main event for WrestleMania 34. The WWE Championship is going to be pitting the champion, AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, against Shinsuke Nakamura with his strong style. I think we all can agree this is going to be a classic, but we may disagree on who we think's going to win. Who you guys got?
Well, I'm going to do another Elite Corso pick here.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
I'm going to put on this AJ Styles hat, and I'm going to say it's going to be a phenomenal night for the phenomenal one.
You got Styles retaining.
Yep.
But you can agree this is going to be a heck of a match,
yes.
right?
And regardless who wins, it's still going to be one heck of a match.
Yeah. Who you got, Jeremy?
I got AJ Styles winning this. It's going to be a classic. It's going to be a talk for years to come. AJ Styles going to bring it all in the ring, and he's going to retain.
I will... I think I said to you guys before we started taping, the winner of this match is going to be the fans. Yes. Because, like you said, no matter whether Styles wins or Shinsuke wins, it's going to be a great match. And so I think this is probably going to be match of the night, in my opinion, and an instant classic. Of course, these two have a rival from back in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
So they have a familiarity with each other, which I think will play into it. Now, of course, Nakamura won the Royal Rumble to get into this match, said he wanted AJ Styles, which has been a dream match for a lot of people coming. I'm going to go with Nakamura, though. I think it's his time. Another entrance that we're both very interested to see. And I can also make a prediction of there's going to be like 100 violins out there on the stage when he comes out instead of just the one. Because, the entrances, they like to go big and bold and make them just as flashy as they can sometimes. But still give him the spotlight.
I hope we get some fireworks again for everybody again. Because it's WrestleMania, and they haven't been doing fireworks the past year now. I want to see the fireworks back. I hope we get those back this year. Especially when the parties come out, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. And, let's get into that for just a minute. The Hardys, by far, made the biggest comeback entrance last year when the New Day introduced them as part of the tag team match, and the whole place just went wild. Of course, myself doing the same thing with them being from North Carolina.
And they won the tag team titles that night.
Right, exactly.
And that's my big impact of the year for WrestleMania for sure, because I think Matt and Jeff, they kept it secret the whole time. They didn't want nobody to know. I don't think nobody in the back knew, but maybe 10 people.
Right.
And then they came out. I remember sitting at home with my cousin, and we were both watching it like, oh no, please not New Day, please not New Day. Then we hear dun 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 dun, and then we just jump straight
Team Midstream.
So for you, your big impact is going to be the Hardys?
Yes.
Okay. You want to make a big impact there?
I think the big impact for this year when the Dr. Mecca cleared Daniel Bryan. I think this is a inspiration for not only for him but for the fans who like to see see Daniel Bryan get back into the ring. Even when he was out of ring action, he was still a influence within the WWE with the Yes movement, and I think in his mindset, like, I really got to show the fans what I can do and pretty much give it day in, day out. So
my big impact is going to be the guy that I just said was going to lose in AJ Styles, but he is my big impact because we're talking about how Brock Lesnar never shows up as a champion. That ain't AJ Styles. He is the main guy. What's he say? The face that runs the place.
The franchise.
He has built the house.
Yeah.
SmackDown Live.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's why I think with
which is the best brand, by the way. SmackDown's the best brand.
Right. And you say that, and it's a good point because everyone on there is fighting day in and day out, and I think that's the hold up on Brock, and the reason why I've got AJ Styles as my big impact because he is the man when it comes to SmackDown. And even if he loses this match, I can see him having a rematch with them, and that could maybe going back and forth with the belt, which anytime they fight each other is going to be a classic. Now, another thing I want to ask you before we start closing out here, any kind of surprises you think we might see this year that we haven't already mentioned?
I would like to see a reunion of some of the Attitude Era superstars and Mick Foley, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Shawn Michaels come back.
Yeah, okay. Texas isn't that far away.
Sure way, because
Kid, Rattlesnake come on back.
Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold are from Texas.
Absolutely. One name that I stuck out that I wrote down was Chris Jericho.
Oh yeah.
Now he hasn't been gone that long, but you know how he likes to just pop up every once in a while and make a run with the WWE, and a lot of times he's around the title pictures. Maybe we see him in one of these Battle Royal matches, or I don't know if we actually see him as Braun Strowman's tag team partner.
That would be
but you
interesting,
never
though.
know. You know, especially with Jericho, who's
But he's also still do a United States title rematch.
Yes, he is.
Because he never lost.
WFL 5-way coming up.
Absolutely. He's going to have to see if anybody's going to be put on the list, right? And another name that I put out there that's been in talks with WWE is Hulk Hogan. So there may be a scenario where we see Hulk Hogan show up again.
Or Instagram about something to do with that.
And you know where I could see him showing up is as the SmackDown general manager. Because Daniel Bryan's cleared, he's going to start wrestling.
Kurt Angle might not be there since their bout with Triple H.
Absolutely. If they could fire him tomorrow night or Monday night. Yeah, absolutely. So just some of the things that we might see surprises wise. And as you've heard now, we made all our predictions, and we'll have to wait and see how many of them we get right. So
I might get the boss of them again.
We'll wait and see. Yeah. Absolutely. But again, WrestleMania, the pre-show is going to be starting at 5 o'clock tomorrow night. The main card starts at 7. Of course, you can get that on the WWE Network. I wish we could have it here on the RO. That would be really cool. But again, we appreciate you joining us for the RO Sports Show's WrestleMania special. And again, you can hear us on the Classic Rock, the RO's YouTube page, the RO's Facebook page, the RichmondObserver.com. So many ways to do it, and of course, it's all free. So for Russell Parker, Jeremy McKenzie, I'm Matt Harrelson, and get ready for WrestleMania.
Woo! Awesome!